Now, right now, we go into the presentation, and the first presenter and panelist is Kaluki Paul Mutuku. Paul is a Kenyan and is also the Director of Communications of the Africa Circular Economy Research and Policy Network. He has environmental studies as his background, but is more passionate about agriculture and green development, especially nature-based solutions in the context of climate change. Paul, you are welcome to make your presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Laide and the whole languages team for this opportunity. And what a privilege to actually come right after the Deputy Secretary General to the United Nations. It's quite a privilege for young people from across the world. So today, I invite all of you who are joining from to walk on a short journey with me across Africa to just see on what young people are doing in terms of implementing on SDGs, but also taking action around COVID-19 and how we can move forward better. And by introduction, yes, I'm the current regional director for Africa at Youth for Nature, which is a global youth organization mobilizing young people to lead on nature-based solutions, both great solutions to the ecological and also the climate crisis. We do this through storytelling, knowledge sharing, and capacity building. Now quickly come along on my pictorial journey, and I wish to start us off with this stunning image from Ngorongoro Crater viewpoint in Tanzania. And this is an initiative by some group called ISEC, where they organize young people to tour different countries and different environments to expose them to opportunities that lie within nature and biodiversity, and also give them the platform to see how best they can work together. So this picture was taken by a group of young people from Kenya who toured Tanzania earlier this year before COVID-19, or around the time COVID-19 first hit. And from what I got is that more young people are really empowered to act more for nature, but also bring back more positive solutions and positive feedback to Kenya on how we can handle our biodiversity, but also dealing with nature. And it shows, the impact of life, the impact of a new day for young people, but also for the world. Next, again, is also a picture from Tanzania. Same group that is also Mataruni Falls Story. This is in Moshi, Tanzania. And basically, you can see the beautiful biodiversity and a waterfall clearly signifying the SDG goals on life on land, but also on water, biodiversity conservation, and climate action. We know that for us to attain the SDGs by 2030, we need to act on the climate. We need to ensure that the ecosystems are as serene as possible and restore those ecosystems that are already destroyed. And this is sort of what this natural space in Tanzania gave students an insight into what we can do. Next on a different aspect in Kenya, this is a group in one of the local cities in Kenya, and young people organizing themselves around urban mobility and trying to create solutions around COVID-19. So basically, they have come up with sterilized ways of transporting clients within cities with a bit of ensuring that they stick to the WHO restrictions and guidelines to ensure we limit on the spread of COVID-19. But it's also an economic opportunity. It's creating job opportunities for young people, and this is something that should be emulable, and it will help us ensure that we're not leaving anyone behind, even as we work towards implementing SDGs by 2030. And next on is one of my best pictures of young people who are already doing farming. And we know that the world was so committed that we have to reduce on hunger, on a very ambitious scale by the year 2030. And we're already seeing young ecopreneurs and agribusiness experts coming up and people mobilizing on the grassroots to actually ensure our local communities have enough food, but not just food, but quality food for their communities, but also for export to vulnerable groups. And this was a picture taken in Meru, Kenya. Over to Nigeria, this is a group for, I believe, youth, young volunteers for the environment in Nigeria. And what they do is that they visit schools and children homes to create an education program, environmental education program, and try to create and nurture a new generation of young people who can then take up the restorative actions, but also taking action to advocate for nature and protect it with the community that they come from. And so I feel it's also a very, very impactful picture from Nigeria that we should learn that amidst COVID-19, young people are still acting and we're taking more leadership in the spaces that we represent across the world. And there's also a second picture from Nigeria of a young youth group that is also visiting children's homes. We know that COVID-19 has hit differently and most people are caught unawares, but how do we ensure we move forward with the groups that are usually otherwise underrepresented or underserved? So this group actually visits, mobilizes resources, and then they buy several supplies to take to these children and at least give them an opportunity to, be at the same level with other members of the community. And this in itself is actually showing the power of partnership, but also the power of, reducing inequalities within and amongst groups, which is actually what young people are doing over the past 5 years. And on my final slide, I wish to welcome you to follow us at www.seek4nature.org, and let's see how we can collaborate. Should you also wish to keep in touch with me, those are my email addresses and the organizational email address. I hope we can keep in touch and help shape more partnerships and more action for the continent of Africa. Thank you so much, and happy to answer questions after.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paul, for letting us into what you do and how the youths can engage in promoting sustainable development goals in Africa. Actually, I always say this in class and out of class, that the sustainable development goals are meant for the youth. Imagine 15 years of your lifetime opportunity to contribute to developments in and around the world. It's a rare privilege, and I know that many youths around the world, just like you, are taking opportunities to lend a voice and voices to the current development in the world. Once again, we commend your efforts and what you are doing in not just in East Africa, but also influencing things around the world and encouraging youths, more importantly. Again, you need to just search for Paul Mutuku online and read a little about his background, his story. It will excite you and to encourage you to do positive things for your country. Thank you so much, Paul. I'll come back to you on questions, but I'm sure many people already have some questions to ask you about what you are doing, how effective or easy the environment in Kenya or elsewhere is motivating you to invest or demotivating you in a way. So we'll get to that. But ladies and gentlemen, please do use the chat button to send some feedbacks to Paul, which he will respond to later.